Namaste, Swadikap. Today we are at the Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok and we have a special guest with us from India. Our special guest today is famous on two aspects. One, he's a writer and an author, and he's also a diplomat. As a diplomat, he has served as a High Commissioner to the UK, an ambassador to Israel, and ended his career on a high, being the ambassador to the United States of America. His other aspect that he's very famous for and he would like to put his time and effort into now is writing. He comes from a very prominent family of writers. His father has been a famous writer who's written a lot of books. His mother is a poetess and has done a lot of translated works. Ladies and gentlemen, we are glad to have with us today Sardar Navtej Singh Sarna. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, may I ask, what brings you to Bangkok?
I was very kindly invited by the Chulalongkorn University to deliver two talks, one on the Indo-Pacific and one on Guru Nanak Devji, whose 550th birth anniversary we are celebrating this year. And this was the reason I'm here.
I have to say I attended both the talks, and Ambassador has been a fantastic speaker and an orator, and today he had the audience absolutely spellbound. So tell us about your passion for writing and books, and what has been the highlight that you would look back till now and say that yes, that has been a piece of book that you have been very fond of and would like to look back on.
Well, I've done a variety of books and I'm very fortunate that I like all of them myself, naturally. But I think I'm very fortunate that I had the strength to do these books. I found the time to do these books, and they cover fiction, non-fiction, history and travel. So I think each one of them has been a kind of special, has had a special attachment because I've spent considerable time on each one of them. So I think I've been very fortunate, and I've enjoyed the process very much.
What books should we look forward to next? Now, you have written about the book of Nanak, which is one of your most famous books. You have written about Maharaj Duleep Singh. You have also done some folk translations, including the Polish stories and Zafarnama. What are you looking forward to, fiction, or are we looking at more into religious?
I would like to focus my time, whatever I have in the future, to do some fiction writing, because I have done a fair amount of non-fiction. As you mentioned, I've done the Zafarnama, I've done the Book of Nanak, I've done Indians at Herod's Gate, I've done Second Thoughts. So these are all more or less non-fiction books, but I would like to now continue with some more writing some more novels and short stories.
Regarding your career as a diplomat, I would like to ask you, during the days of the Cold War, where India was seen as an ally of Russia, whereby automatically making it on the antipode of the USA, coming back to now when you entered your term and going forward, where the India-US strategic alliance is gaining so much importance, what do you see as the pivot where the balance changed for India vis-a-vis the US and other countries?
Well, you know, a number of things have changed in the world since the end of the Cold War, and that's now getting to be 27 years ago. The world changed. The Cold War ended, so the world was no longer a bipolar bloc. People were realigning their relationships according to national interest. And at the same time, I think over all these years, India has changed. India has developed extensively. India's economic reforms have opened up India to the world. India is a very attractive destination, tourism, investment. India is also a very big market. And India has also been developing its own strategic space and its strategic not alliances, but strategic partnerships with several countries. So I think the United States relationship that you mentioned has undergone a sea change in these 25, 27 years. And it is today a full-fledged, very important strategic partnership for both countries. So I think a number of things have changed. India's strength has changed. The condition of the landscape of the world has changed.
Ambassador, not too many days ago, Prime Minister Modi decided that India would not be part of the RCEP as it stands now. Now, the world believes that the 21st century will be the century of Asia, and if India has to be a leader, and many people are looking to India to be the leader because of its democracy and its strength of its people, what steps do you think that India needs to take to put itself as a leader?
I think, the reasons why India is not part of the RCEP were made very clear by the Prime Minister. And I think until the international agreement responds to our national interest, it's difficult for a country to join it. But ultimately, I think India is focused on developing itself. The Prime Minister has put out a target of making it a 5 trillion economy, which means we have to create a huge amount of infrastructure, we have to increase our trade, we have to increase our manufacturing, and only then we have to, that will result naturally in growth. And in India, it's very important to have a well-distributed growth. I think only then can we emerge as a leader once we have done all this.
You served more than 3 decades as a diplomat. Over the 3 decades, you have worked under various governments. You have worked in different countries. Do you find any change in the way that India has approached foreign policy on the one hand, and how governments of other countries and the people have changed their views on India and Indians?
Naturally, as far as our foreign policy is concerned, it's a reflection of what is happening in the country, of our own strengths, of our own needs. And so naturally, it's not something which is static. It evolves a lot. We have moved on from being a sort of developing country to major emerging power. And we are today a significant regional power. So I think our standing in the world has certainly improved. In the eyes of the world also, I think today India and Indians are seen as a country of tremendous achievements, a country which has come a long way since its independence 72 years ago. And a country which has a very significant future. It's also seen that India has to be part of any international decisions that are taken, for instance on trade or on climate change, or because 1.2, 1.3 billion people are in India. And so what India does, in which direction India moves, makes a difference to the entire world.
In all your stints as an ambassador, what would you personally mark as a high in your career? On the other side, any regrets?
Well, we do our jobs as best as we can, and it's not for me to pick out one or two single highlights. That would be not fair to all the countries I have served in or all the colleagues I have worked with. But I can say that the Indian Foreign Service has given me a very unique opportunity of serving the country, of engaging with the world, of across different political climes and different cultural settings. And this has been personally a very, very enriching experience. And I really have no regrets as far as I can think.
So coming back to the book, one of the main books that you have written is the Book of Nanak. Now, we celebrate the 550th year of the birth of Shri Guru Nanak Devji. What message of Guru Nanak would you see as the most relevant for today's generation and today's world? If you can, of course, the message is huge, but if you can put it in one particular message that would really help the world. And yes, and may I also request you to give us a reading from the book?
So probably I can do both the things in one reading, which will also underline one of the messages and also do the reading. The spirit of affirmation is an essential aspect of Guru Nanak's teachings. The world is real, it is part of God's creation. It has to be accepted as a reflection of divine purpose. Man's duty is to live in it in such a way that he lives above the impurities, that he improves the condition of fellow human beings by love and compassion, by service and devotion. Renunciation is emphatically rejected. The answer does not lie in withdrawal from this world. Guru Nanak supported institutions like marriage, family and society and brought them within the ambit of religion. Practical virtue is stressed rather than abstract piety. The exhortations are remarkable in their simplicity. Kirt karo, do work, Naam japo, meditate on his name, and vanchako, share in charity. Service, love and devotion are the essentials.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, may I have one request that we really enjoyed having you here. May we request that you keep coming back to Bangkok and talk to us on different aspects of your career, of your books, because it's been a marvelous occasion talking with you and chatting with you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ambassador Sarna. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.